I'm very unsure of myself most of the time, not certain if I'm saying the right things, if I am acting the right way, if I'm even supposed to be here.
Welcome back to my channel. So we are back for another video. So let's get into today's video topic. There was a comment that was left under my last video, but I think the girl deleted it because she was afraid that I was gonna block her, but I wasn't gonna block her because she made such a great point. I wanted to screen grab her comment and use it in this video, but she deleted the comment, and I think it really was because she thought that I was gonna block her, but I wasn't gonna block her. She was very respectful. I felt like I just wanted to respond to her comment because she made a great point in my last video where she said that what about when jealousy doesn't always show up as hate? Sometimes people show you love. And this is what I had to realize about people who are jealous but they show you love. It's fake love. It's not real. It's not genuine. It's not pure. There are some hidden motives behind the love that they are showing you. Disclaimer. I have the fireplace playing in the back, and then also I have a microphone that I'm using. It's the Rode mic. I went ahead and purchased the Bluetooth microphones that I can like clip to my shirt. Hopefully that helps. But please understand that I live in a loft style mid-rise in the middle of the city, and it's busy. It's going to be noisy. So please understand that there's nothing that I can really do, and I'm gonna have my fireplace playing in the background because it really sets the mood for me to get in the mood to record and sit down and have an intimate conversation with my subscribers. So hopefully you don't mind. If you don't like it, the only thing I can tell you is just don't watch. I don't have anything else for you because I'm not gonna change. I like the vibe over here. I like the noisiness. I like the city feel. I'm never gonna get this again in my life, and I want to be able to look back on this content and just take it in and take in the vibe, the experience, and just where I am currently in life. So I just know how I am. I'm very nostalgic, and I want to hear the busyness in the background because it's just where I'm headed in life. That being said, let's get into today's video. I wanted to talk about dealing with a friend who showed fake love and fake support for years, and I had no idea that it was fake. And she was jealous, but she hid her jealousy really, really well because she showed fake love and fake support. But behind my back, she would drag me to filth. And when I caught wind of this, I was shocked. It caught me off guard. It hit me out of nowhere. I was not expecting this because she was so caring, sweet, and nice to my face. She was so fake supportive. She even involved her child. And she was just so fake. And I didn't catch on until I moved to Houston and I started hanging around her and I just started seeing how fake she was. That's when I realized that the love and the support and the care that she had shown me over the years, I believe majority of it was fake. I believe some of it was real, but not all of it. Let's get into the story because I feel like with me reflecting over this situation for the last 2 years, there are some things that I want to talk about. Through reflection, you're able to talk about the story more in depth because maybe there were things that you didn't see at that current time. Maybe there were things that you didn't understand at that current time. Maybe there were signs, red flags that you missed at that current time. But through reflection, you now see the full picture or the bigger picture when it comes to the situation. I've been meaning to record this video for a while now because I've been spiritually led to talk about this. I go through things, I'm spiritually led to talk about them. And I've been holding off on this for the last 2 years, almost 3 years now, if I go into 2024. And I just want to really let this go and put this behind me. And I know why this energy is still lingering. It's because I haven't talked about it. And honestly, I haven't talked about it in full to anyone, not even my best friend. I don't think she really knows in depth everything that happened and everything that went down because when I go through shit, I go through my shit alone. I don't involve people. I'm really big about that, and honestly it's because I've never been able to truly depend on people. So when I go through my shit, I go through my shit alone. I don't involve people. I don't like involving people, mainly because people always involve me in their mess. They trauma dump on me because they want my advice, and I just don't want to be a burden to other people because it's done to me. So I just don't like involving people in my shit, and I'm working on that because now that I have a supportive friend group and my family is more supportive and things are just changing in my life, I don't want to continue to carry that energy into the new year. So that's another reason why I'm creating this video. I don't know who needs to hear this, but maybe in the past people were not supportive, or maybe in the past you felt like people weren't really there for you, and so you just handled a lot of the shit that you went through on your own and you didn't involve people because you're not used to involving people, because people weren't really there for you. They weren't supportive. And this could have been parents, this could have been friends, this could have been just the people that were around you at that point in time in your life. And so how do you transition out of that to this new mindset where it's like, okay, I can depend on these people. These people are truly supportive to me, and I can depend on my parents because they have elevated from the mindset that they were in back when they did things a different way. So how do I move past that? And honestly, it's understanding that people grow, people change, and people evolve, and then there's people who don't. If you have parents or family that have grown, have changed, evolved, and you've been able to talk to them, form a better relationship with them, they are now supportive and dependable. So now I feel like I can call my mom, I can call my dad, even though I don't like to because it's not something that I'm used to. I'm trying to get in the better habit of seeking out that support so people can support me when I need it, instead of trying to handle my shit all on my own, because sometimes it gets a little overwhelming. That is a very significant part in this story, is that when everything went down in this situation, I didn't tell a soul. I didn't tell a family member. I didn't tell a friend. I didn't tell anyone. I really kept it to myself because I'm always the strong friend. I've always been seen as the strong friend, so I don't involve people in my shit, and I'm really trying to grow out of this. This is something that I'm going to be working on in 2024 to grow out of this. I'm the strong friend. I always got to hold it down on my own, and then everyone can come to me and dump on me, and I'm still handling my shit while taking on their shit. I'm just like trying to move out of that because it's a very toxic friendship, and I always find myself in one-sided friendships with women, and that's not fair to me. So I need to learn how to lean on others for support, lean on others for advice. And honestly, I feel like I'm in the space in my life where I can do that, where I actually have supportive women and family around me, where I actually can do that. It's levels to it. If you would like for me to make a video about that, we can get into that, but let's go ahead and just get into this story time. So before I moved to Houston, I was very hesitant about my ex-best friend and her friend group because she would always come to me and my other best friend, which y'all all know her, Lexi, and complain about her friend group that she had made out here in Houston. At the time, I didn't know what to think because I don't know them, so I don't really have an opinion to really form about them, but she would try to bait us based off of a one-sided story to give an opinion about the situation that we didn't witness, we weren't involved in, about her other friends and then her. And she would do that a lot with us. She would do that a lot. She would always involve us in situations that we did not witness regarding her other friends, to seek validation from us regarding what happened and what went down, even though we were not there. So she had a habit of doing that, and as I reflected over what happened, I picked up on that, and I missed it when it was happening, of course, but after reflecting, I'm like, damn, she did that a lot. So I don't know what's true, what's not true when it comes to her friend group, but to my understanding, she's not in a friend group that likes her or that supports her, or that really cares about her. I don't know, like, it's very weird. I think she keeps them around because she competes with them. She keeps them around to make herself look a certain way to other people. She keeps them around because she feels that she's better than them. That's huge. That is huge. I really don't think she likes them because honestly, she dogs them out behind their backs. But I started noticing that she doesn't just do this with them, she actually does this with me. She actually does this with my best friend. We were in a trio friendship, so it was the three of us, and we were in that friendship for a while. I can honestly say it was a trauma bond because of just how the friendship formed and how the dynamic really played out. We kind of like leaned on each other for comfortability, and that was pretty much it. I don't really think we had a deep, meaningful relationship. I know I didn't with her. I don't know if my other best friend did, but I felt like I had a deeper connection with my best friend Lexi simply because we were vulnerable with each other. I don't really feel like she was ever vulnerable with us. I felt like any time that she would open up, it would always be about her complaining about something that she didn't like or that she wasn't okay with, but she would always give us bits and pieces. She would never give us the full story, and that was another thing that I learned after reflecting over the situation and everything that happened and how everything unfolded. So that's another key point to this story, is that she doesn't always tell the full story. She only tells you what she wants to know, or the parts that make her look good. And so I started noticing that after the fact, and the pieces just really started to come together for me afterwards. That's why reflection is such an important part of your healing journey, because when you reflect, you're really able to see things and understand a person and why they do what they do, and it allows you to be able to move past what they did so that you can heal and move on from what happened. So when I moved to Houston, the energy was instantly weird between us, partially because she came to me for advice about a guy. I gave my advice. I'm a straight shooter. If you're gonna ask, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm not going to feed you delusion. I'm not going to entertain nonsense. If you ask, and all my friends know this, the new ones and the old ones, if you ask, I'm going to keep it real, which is why people like getting advice from me, because sometimes when they get advice from other people, they get the biased advice. So she knew what she was getting herself into when she asked, because I don't be in people's business. I don't be wanting to know what they got going on. Honestly, I could care less. Honestly, I could care less. And I probably didn't even know about it unless you brought it to my attention, because I'm focused on other things. I'm focused on growing my business. I'm focused on getting in shape. I'm focused on clearing my skin. I'm focused on creating businesses and more income, and I really just don't have time to be putting my energy and focus into those things like gossip and keeping over everybody, because honestly, it just takes so much energy away from what you're trying to accomplish and the goals that you have set for yourself. Me aligning my actions with gossip and worrying about what this person doing, it's taken away from my actual goals and things that I have set out for myself. So I just don't like putting too much focus on those things, because it does not get you anywhere. I don't know who needs to hear that, but that's like a huge part in my success. It's just not worried about all the outside noise, to stay laser focused on what I need to do for myself, because that's the only way I'm truly going to get ahead. You really lose focus and you lose sight on what you need to truly be focused on, and it takes all of your energy and it drains your energy, and then you don't even feel like getting done what you need to get done. I tune out all the noise. I'm laser focused on what I need to do. I'm not worried about what everybody else is out here doing, because you lose hours. Literally, you lose hours when you're concerned about everything that's going on outside of what you need to do for yourself. When I moved to Houston, like I said, the tension was already weird. We went out to dinner one night. The energy was weird because, like I said, I gave my advice about the man. I was right. That was another thing. I mean, she never gave me credit for that, but I was right about how the man lied to her. I'm not going to get into what he lied about, but I was right about how the man lied, and that's the reason why she made peace with me, and she ended up paying my dinner the night that she took me out for dinner when I first got here. Then she invited me out for, now I have to be honest with you, when we started this friendship, I was 358 pounds. I was 358 pounds. I wore the same black stretchy spandex yoga pants pretty much every other day. Like, I just remember when I was at my heaviest, I would wash these pants, and I would wash them like every 2 days, because I literally wore them like almost every day. So I was 358 pounds. I had just went natural. I was finding my style. I was coming off of a spiral due to my essay. I was really trying to get my life together when we became friends, but honestly, y'all, I was just a hot mess. And it wasn't about my look. It wasn't about my size. It was just me mentally. I was not in a good place at all. That's just how we started our friendship. I started at the very freaking bottom. So that's how we became friends. And so when she invited me out to brunch, I was 128 pound difference. And this is the girl that was out here wearing flats constantly. Like, you could dare catch me in heels, because I was insecure about my height and I was insecure about my weight. I was just a totally different person, and I never reflected on my progress, so I did not see myself like this at the time that I first moved to Houston and we had reconnected. So at this brunch, I'm wearing heels. At this brunch, I'm wearing a black dress, and she hadn't seen me like that. I don't think ever. I don't think she's ever seen me in heels and a black dress. Like, I don't think she saw me like that ever since we've been friends, honestly, because I just didn't feel confident in wearing that stuff, honestly. So after this brunch, this is where things changed. So I show up to the brunch wearing that, and I'm not thinking anything of it. Also, my makeup looks better. I've been practicing on makeup and doing my makeup better. Also, when we became friends, I had acne issues. I had facial hair issues. I had hair that would grow up under my chin, on my cheeks. I had sideburns. Yo, girl had really went through a physical glow up, very extreme. I looked like two totally different people. So I never thought about it like this because I never reflected on my progress and my self-work and all the work that I had put into myself, all the work that I had poured into myself. I just didn't see it like that. She was very irritated by every little thing. I just remember being at the table, and if I said something that was funny, she would like stare at me and like give me this weird look. And this is when I was like, oh my God, that was evil eye. Oh my God, that's what evil eye is. Because I reflected on the energy that was at the brunch table, and it was just very off. And then at one point during brunch, I was cracking up because we had taken edibles. When I take edibles, I get real goofy, girl. I get real goofy. So I started getting real goofy. I had taken an edible. It was a co-ed brunch, and me and the guys, we were laughing, making jokes, and cracking the hell up, having a good time. And then there was another girl that was at the table. She was cracking up, having a good time. And everyone was like having a good time, and everyone was having a vibe, but her. She was leaned back in her chair like this, looking at me. And I'm like, oh my God, why is she staring at me like that? And I was like, why is she being weird? Like, why is she being like so weird towards me? I took an edible, so I was a little paranoid, but I could like peek the energy coming off of her, and I'm like, oh my God, like, what is the problem? But I didn't think nothing of it. I'm like, maybe she's just stuck because she also took an edible. So I just kind of brushed it off like, no, like I'm just tripping. I'm being paranoid, like whatever, just let it go. So I didn't think nothing of it. I let it go. And then we were supposed to meet up back at my place, and then we were supposed to head to another place. Like we were going to pre-game after brunch at my place and then go to another place. Y'all know how Sunday fun day be. And so when I got back to my place, they never showed up. They never showed up. And I have a feeling she said, no, let's not go to her place, let's go somewhere else, or let's just go straight to the other place. I think she was jealous that I had my own place and she still lived with her parents, because I just didn't understand, like, we communicated before we left about going back to my place pre-gaming and then going back out, freshening up and then going back out. But she did not want to do that, and I lived in Midtown, so it just made sense. It's not like you had to drive all the way back out to Katy or something like that. Like, girl, we were like right there. We were 6 minutes away from where we just left. I don't know, they never came back, and they didn't tell me. I had got in my house, was taking off my shoes, and then I got this text saying, oh, we decided to head over to another place. So I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna stay home because I'm not about to rush to leave. Like, I wanted to freshen up and then go back out. They had switched plans on me at the very last minute, so I was just like, oh, okay, well, I'm not going. Like, cool, I'll just catch y'all next time. I'm thinking it's cool, like, whatever. I do my own thing, and that's another thing that my best friend had a hard time accepting. I do my own thing. You cannot control me. I don't run in packs. I think she had a hard time accepting that. And so when I bailed out because she changed the plans, that was a big issue for her. And it's just like, you don't run me. She feels like she runs people. She has a bad habit of that, which gets me into the next part of the story. So after that situation, weeks passed by, and we had previously planned a trip to Tulum. So we planned this trip. I planned this trip to go to Tulum. I was willing to pay for the whole trip for the stay just because I wanted a vacation and I wanted to leave the country, and I didn't want people to come up with excuses about why they couldn't go. So I was willing to put up the full amount for the trip, for the stay, just because I wanted to go to have a good time, and I didn't care. I just wanted to pay and go. And then she offered to pay. So I was like, okay, I mean, you don't have to. Like, that's what I told her. I'm like, you don't have to, but if you want to, okay. So she ended up paying her portion divided by 5. Yeah, 5. And that was because that's what she wanted to do. And I didn't care either way. I just wanted to go. I didn't care about the money. Like, I really just wanted to go to Tulum and have a good time. So the girls that I invited, I was very particular about who I invited because I wanted the girls to just be free-spirited, open-minded, go with the flow type, just enjoy the vibe type, because I wanted to vacation. I didn't want to travel. I just wanted to vacation. When I think of vacation, I think of relaxation. I think about sitting by the pool, drinking by the pool, going to the beach, having lunch on the beach, shopping. I think about just relaxing, getting a massage, going to the spa, and just relaxing because it's a vacation. This is not a trip to travel. This is not about excursions. It's not about hopping from city to city to sightsee. Like, it's truly to just relax. I thought that we were all on the same page with that because I created a group chat for all the girls that were attending, and everyone seemed to agree to what we had planned to do, which was basically just relax. It was a vacation. But when we got there, she had a big issue with we weren't doing enough. And it was crazy because I'm just like, girl, we talked about this in the group chat. We talked about how this was supposed to be a vacation, not a travel experience. And she just was not getting it. Like, I don't know, she just was not understanding it. It was crazy because I just didn't understand like why she was making it such a big deal, but I started to catch on throughout the trip that I don't know who she was trying to impress, but she was trying to impress people on social media. Her little Instagram story, girl, it was so important for her to show people that she was doing this and that she was doing that and that she was being seen here and she was being seen there. And I'm just trying to remember the time that she acted like this. I don't remember her being like this, like being so fixated on likes and attention and being seen a certain way and having status and having money. I'm like, I don't remember her being this way. She all of a sudden was just this way, and it was just so important for her to get her videos, to get her photos for Instagram, just to show people that she was out here doing this and this. Even if she wasn't really having fun, she just wanted to show people that she was doing this and that she was doing that. And it was crazy because I'm a social media influencer. I get paid for social media. I get paid to post. So it was just crazy that she was acting like this as if she was getting paid or something. Like, it was insane. And I didn't plan to work this trip because I had not taken a vacation in 10 years and I really just wanted to relax. I had not been on a vacation in years. I had worked my ass off to get to a point in my career where I did not have to work on vacation. And I had finally reached that point, and she sabotaged it because she made it about her. She wanted to be photoed here, videoed here. She wanted to be photoed doing this. And it was just like regular stuff, y'all. It wasn't even anything serious. It was just driving me insane because I'm just like, oh my God, I came here to relax. I thought I picked the right group of girls to do that. She was just super hyper fixated and obsessed with being seen and being showy on this trip. And I regretted inviting her midway through because if I would have known that she was going to be acting like bitchy, stuck up, super opinionated over the simplest and smallest things, trying to control the trip and what we do, how we do things, and just being a diva when the trip was not about her. Honestly, I had picked and I had selected these girls because she had just graduated nursing school. She should be celebrated. And then my other friend had got a new job. She had moved into a new place and I felt like she should be celebrated. Then my other friend, she had got a new job and I felt like she should be celebrated. This was right after the pandemic. We had gone through a rough time and I just felt like all of these girls that I invited, we should all celebrate each other. My best friend, I think she got her first gig after some downtime, and it was like a big gig. Like, I've seen Lexi everywhere, like New Balance, Nike. Girl, that girl be working, honey. Sometimes you may see her little ads when you go into different stores and stuff like that. You'll see a poster of her, and it's so cool when you walk into a store and you see your best friend on the wall. Like, it's so cool seeing that. So we just had a lot of things to celebrate, and me personally, my career had elevated where I was at a financially stable point in my career. I had paid off all my debt. Even though I didn't disclose this with anyone, I had paid off all my debt. I paid off $30,000 in debt. And then I moved to Houston, and then I later bought a luxury car, and I had moved into my apartment that was in Midtown, and I just felt like we had a lot to celebrate. But somehow she made the entire trip about her and what she wanted to do, and she was complaining a lot and she was bitching a lot. And y'all, I just regretted inviting her because she tried to make the entire trip about her, and it was very exhausting. She started draining my energy, and I'm like, damn, I'm on vacation. I'm supposed to be feeling rejuvenated, but it was the complete opposite. And towards the end, midway, I honestly regretted inviting her because she came for all the wrong reasons, and it was just very exhausting dealing with her on the trip, honestly. And I kept it to myself. Like, I tried to put on a brave face and just deal with it because I didn't want any drama on the trip. Like, honestly, I just did not want that. That was the last thing I wanted, because once drama pops off on the trip, that is it. That is what the trip is known for. I just didn't want to make it about that. So I was trying to keep the peace, be the mature one in the situation, and just let it go. But it was so freaking hard. The last day, girl, the last day on the trip. So the worst news ever. My best friend got a call. We went out to dinner, and it's her sister calling her saying that their dad had a heart attack and that he's in the ICU and he's unresponsive. And to see my best friend, she's such a bubbly, loving person, to see her whole demeanor change and to see how crushed and concerned and how nervous and instantly stressed she was, it really broke my heart seeing her go through that. And that was hard for me because I'm like, oh my God, like this is the worst news ever. And I didn't know how to comfort her in that moment because I don't know what to say. Like, what do you say? How do you comfort your best friend where she gets the worst call of her life? It was very hard. So she got that call. But prior to this call, the diva that came, she was upset because of her outfit. She was upset. We all decided that we were going to wear black on the last night to celebrate, like I said. And she bought a jumpsuit and she didn't like it. She made the excuse that her shoes didn't go with her jumpsuit and she was just really upset and frustrated about that. So she was irritated. She was in a bad mood. She was snappy. She just had really weird vibes going on because she just wasn't happy with her outfit. And partially I can understand, but it's like, we're in Mexico, girl. It'll be okay. It will be all right. You're never gonna get this experience bad. Like, it's gonna be okay. We're in Tulum. Like, let's just try to make the best of it. But she wouldn't. She would not let it go. She would not let it go. So she made it a big deal, and her last day was already ruined prior to this call because of her outfit. After reflecting on this situation with her outfit, honestly, I really think the issue was she was competing with me every night. It became obvious because she started making it a competition about who could get dressed first, because every night we were late. We were late to dinner because every night we went to dinner. I just didn't understand like why it was a competition for who could get dressed first, like who can get their makeup done, their hair done, and their dress done first every night. And I don't know, it was just kind of weird because we're on vacation, you're with a group of girls, and you know how that is. You know there's gonna be people that are not gonna be on time and that they're gonna be late. And it's not that we were super late or anything, we just were behind sometimes just because, you know, your hair is not working with you. We're in Mexico, it's hot as hell. Your makeup is not matching anymore because now you're like 2 shades darker, so now your makeup is just ashy. Come on, you know what I mean? So it became a competition about who could get dressed first, and I just felt like that was childish and immature. But she made it such a big deal. Oh, we need to be on time. But really it was just, I don't know, like I just felt like she was competing with me about my makeup. And it's crazy because I taught this girl how to do her makeup. I taught her how to do her makeup. I helped her buy her foundation. If she asked me questions about what products she should use and things like that, or her overall foundation routine, I actually sat down with her one-on-one and helped her with that. So I just didn't understand why in Mexico are we over here competing about who can slay better with their makeup. It was just very freaking weird. I just remember us being in the kitchen, and this is when it hit me. I'm like, is she competing with me with makeup? Like, no way. We were sitting down, she was doing her makeup because there was better lighting out in the kitchen area in the island section. I was out there doing my makeup first because it had the best lighting, and then she just joined me. And I don't mind you copying me or anything, but she started to compare how my foundation was applying to my skin. So she kept saying like, how do you get your makeup to blend so smooth? Like, I don't understand. Your makeup just goes on so flawless. Your foundation, it just blends so well with your skin. And I told her I got laser hair removal, and then I cleared up my acne. I use Acne Org. I'm an open book. If you ask me, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I did, because me having flawless skin and having a foundation that looks flawless with makeup on is not something that I'm really used to. It's new for me because I used to suffer with facial hair on my face, thick facial hair on my face, and acne. So when I removed the hair off my face, my acne instantly started to clear up because bacteria wouldn't get trapped in the hair follicles. So my skin started to clear up. She still struggled with those issues like hair on her face, and she struggled with acne. So she was comparing me applying foundation to my skin versus her skin. You know, I went and got laser hair. You know, I cleared up my acne. So of course our foundation is not going to look exactly the same. It's not going to be applied exactly the same. If you know you are dealing with acne, you have acne prone skin. With hair, y'all, it was a mess. And so I started picking up on like, oh my God, is she comparing herself to me when it comes to the makeup? So when it came to the dress situation, I felt like she was also comparing herself after reflecting on it, because honestly she was dressed first because it was a competition on who could get dressed first. And so she would always come out to the living room and just wait on everyone else, which is cool, no big deal. But I was the second one to get dressed, and when I came out dressed and she saw what I had on, she instantly was like, I don't like my outfit. And I'm like, girl, what? Honestly, ladies, I did not know women were like this. I did not know. I was a tomboy. I was an outcaster. I was considered too weird, too strange, too awkward, too shy, too timid. So I did not know women were like this. I did not know that they were like this, that they would secretly compete with you and compare themselves to you and then be difficult about it and then be difficult to deal with. Like, it was just insane. And I was just like, oh my God, how can I deal with this? And you know, when you're an introvert and your social battery has been drained, you just want to get away. You don't want to talk to nobody. Like, you just want to go back to your corner where you're by yourself. You're seeking isolation now because you're drained, you're irritated, and this person that you're dealing with is very immature. And it's like, you just want to go back to that place. So I'm like, oh my God, one more day, and I'll get back to my space. I'll get back to my energy and I won't have to deal with this negative, weird energy from her. Some other weird things that would happen was she body shamed me when we went to the beach. She body shamed me when we went out for dinner and I had on heels, and she body shamed my height, which I thought was just really, really weird. And it was crazy because she's the type of girl that wants a BBL, but she body shames my body and I have the BBL body naturally. She's known I've had this body my entire life because when I was younger, I was a tomboy, so I dressed down. But because I started wearing more feminine clothes and I started doing my makeup better, my skin, and it was very intimidating to her. And she wasn't always like that. She wasn't. She was fake caring and fake supportive before. I don't know if it was real, honestly. I don't know if she was ever caring or supportive. I could maybe assume that maybe she was. Maybe when I was down and she was above me, she was more supportive and genuinely caring simply because I was down and she saw me beneath her. And that's another thing. She saw me beneath her. I never saw her as, oh, she's above me or beneath me or anything. I just never viewed her like that. My mind don't work like that to put people above or below someone. I treat everyone the same just because they're a human being. I see everyone the same just because they're a human being. It doesn't matter what they do, how much money they have and things like that. I started noticing, and I don't know if it's the city of Houston. I can see how the city of Houston has influenced her to adapt that mindset, but I don't think like that. I'm never gonna think like that. I'm not, because I know what it's like to go without. I know what it's like to be bigger. I know what it's like to be left out. My whole life is about that. So it's like I can't just ditch who I am, who I was, just to be this new version where I adapt that mindset. Like, I'm never doing that shit. If I have to adapt that mindset, I just would rather not do social media at all. I would rather not be Yanni. I would rather just go back to being Kiana because I'm not ever doing that shit. Like, if I do that shit, I have to become the people that treated me differently simply because I looked a certain way, and I refuse to do that shit. I refuse to do that shit. I will always treat people with respect. I will always see them equally, and I will treat them as such because I know what it's like to be on the opposite end where you're not. So I'm never going to be that. Even though the in crowd accepts me now because I look a certain way, I don't give a fuck about that. Like, I hate when people come to me with that. You have the look, you have the face, and I'm grateful. Like, thank you, but don't ever get it twisted like, oh, because I fit in with the in crowd now, like, I'm just be cool with whatever. I'm not. I never will, because my younger version of myself is never gonna be okay with that shit, and I just can't forget about her. I became who I am today to be the girl that I needed when I was younger, and I will never forget about her. So people expect for me to act a certain way or carry myself a certain way because I look a certain way now, and I'm like, that is bullshit. Like, it's never going to fly with me. It's just never gonna fly with me. And I start clapping my hands because I get so passionate about this. You don't understand the torment and the cruelness that I experienced from my younger years, from being different and weird and strange to being a tomboy to being an athlete, being a jock, and then to being a bigger girl and having that experience. When I was younger, I was picked on for being quiet and shy. Like, I could literally be minding my business and somehow I'm being bullied and picked on and singled out because I'm quiet. I got bullied a lot. So it's like, I can't just ditch that version of myself just to be this version of myself that is accepted by the in crowd. I don't give a fuck about that. I really don't. I don't care what my persona gives you. I don't care how you think I am. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I will never forget about my younger years, and I will never forget about how people treated me when I had a different look. I will never forget that. And maybe I've been placed in this position to be in this role because I carry this mindset, and I have accepted that about myself, but I will never be that girl. But back to my stories, I just started seeing changes in her, and I just didn't like them. Like, honestly, I didn't like who she had became. It just seemed like the city of Houston really changed her in a really negative way, and she just carried this chip on her shoulder for no reason. I don't know if it was because she was getting more attention from men, if it was because of her job, if it was because she was doing this or doing that or trying to be perceived a certain way. Honestly, I didn't give a shit about any of that because I just don't care about those things. Those are surface level things. Those are shallow things. They don't mean anything to me and they don't do anything for me. So I just didn't give a shit about any of that. And I started seeing that that's where her focus was. Like, her focus was men, money, status, being seen a certain way, designer this, designer that, being seen on social media this way, getting attention and lots of it, getting praise and just being seen constantly. I just didn't like the person that she had became. And it's crazy because she projected this behavior on me and people believed it. I'm just gonna get into that because when you have social media, people come up with assumptions about who you really are. Like, who are you really? I see you. Like, I know who you really are. And they don't be knowing shit. They don't be knowing shit. They just going off of what they think or what they assume. They don't really be knowing shit. Because honestly, truthfully, I don't give a shit about any of that. It's just consumerism meant for you to buy into things that you can't afford so that you will be broke. You will be broke. That's what it's about. It's not about you being finally accepted by society. Society don't give a fuck about that. Society wants you broke as fuck. And a lot of people fall into that consumerism. I need to buy this designer or this brand, and then in the process be going broke trying to be seen a certain way. I don't care about that. I never gave into it. I don't care about that. I don't care to fit in with the in crowd. So honestly, I'm gonna wear what I want to wear. I'm gonna make it look good. If it's 99 cents, it is what it is. But I'm not about to be out here feeding into this overconsumption of materialistic things just because I want to fit in. I don't give a shit about that. I never did, and it has not changed. And I just want that to be known on my platform because people try to project that onto me, and it's like, girl, when do I ever be out here giving a shit about that? I started noticing the changes in her, and when she came out upset and irritated that night because she had a black jumpsuit on, the whole night she just had a stank ass energy. She had a stank ass attitude. And I know if you ever had that girlfriend where because her outfit don't look the way that she wants it to look, then all of a sudden she just wants to ruin the night for everybody. Like, she doesn't want anyone else to have fun because she's not having fun. That's the energy that she was in. If you looked over in her direction, her whole energy was just ugh. The whole night she was just like that until Lexi got that call. And when Lexi got that call, she sparked up. Her energy just sparked up. Her energy just lit up. Her eyes sparked up, and all of a sudden she was satisfied and happy again because the rest of our nights were ruined due to this unfortunate situation, and she was like somewhat gloating about it. And then she got into this fake caring act, and she put on this act like she was showing empathy and care towards my best friend. And this is when I saw her for the first time. I was just like, this girl is so fake. I never knew that she was this fake. I'm like, damn. So the whole time she was fake caring and trying to be empathetic towards my best friend. Once I see a person, I see them for who they really are. I'm very protective over my people, my family, my friends. Like, I just like, girl, get away from them. But I couldn't be like that. I had to watch her in action, and I just watched her like the whole night. I just watched how she was so attentive, and she was allowing my best friend to cry on her shoulder, but I could read her and I could just tell she didn't give a shit. She didn't care. It was just all a front. She did not really care. It was just fake as fuck. And I just watched her, and I just kept it to myself. I didn't say anything because I couldn't say anything. So I just had to keep it to myself. But I just watched her the entire night. I watched her for the rest of the night, all the way into the next morning. And she was just fake as hell that night. And I didn't even have any proof. I was just going off of what I knew, what I know. I read people very well. I see right through people. And that's another reason why people are intimidated by me, because I see through people and their bullshit, and they don't like that. And that night I saw her and I was just like, girl. The next day, my best friend gets on a plane back to Kansas City because she had to go see about her family, her dad, and everyone. And I was just really nervous. And then I had mentally decided that I was going to check on her in about 3 days because I didn't want to call her right away when she first got there because I knew things were going to be pretty chaotic. I just waited for her to kind of get settled in, see about her dad, see about her family, and then I was going to reach out to her to check in on her to see how everyone was. That's what I did. I got back from Mexico, and when I got back, this is the most effed up thing. This was another competitive move, and I was just like, what the hell? So it was a competition about how we got home. home. And it was just really weird. So when we landed back in Houston, we walked to baggage claim, nothing. She didn't say anything. She said nothing on the plane. She said nothing when we were waiting in the airport before we left. She said nothing. And then when we got to baggage claim and we got our luggage, and then she just walks up to me and she says, I parked my car here at the airport, but you can head over to the Uber section. And then she just walked off. She didn't say bye. She didn't give me a hug. She didn't say I'll see you later. She didn't say anything. Like, she literally just left me standing there. And I was just like, is this girl for real? Is this for real? I could not believe it. She didn't say nothing but that, and then she just walked off. So I questioned what I just experienced instantly, because I'm just like, wow, did she really just do that? Did she really just walk off and just leave me there just hanging like that? I just couldn't believe it. Now, is this girl obligated to take me home? No, but she didn't even say bye. She didn't. She just walked off and just left me standing there in the airport. It was like a one-up type thing. That's the energy that I got when we had that weird ass exchange, when she just decided to just leave me standing there. So I was like, okay, is it really that serious? Is it? Okay. So the next day, I was just intentional about how I needed space from her. Like, I didn't text her, I didn't call her, I didn't do anything. I was just focused on decompressing from the trip. Basically needing a vacation from the vacation girl, because she stressed me out the entire trip, because she just complained the entire time. Nothing was good enough for her, nothing. Like, she just complained. She felt like we didn't do enough on the trip the entire time that we were there. She felt like we could have done excursions and things like that, but I didn't plan any because we just planned to vacation. But we took her up on doing an excursion while we were there, and then when we started picking out the different excursions that we wanted to do, she was complaining about how she didn't want to do it. So I was just tired of her. By the time I got home, I just needed to decompress from her energy. Like, she drained the living force out of me. I was so tired, and I was just happy to be back home in my own energy, in my own space, away from all that negativity. I was just happy to be home. And then about a day or two after the trip, she texts me and she's like, hey, like, you should come up here with me and such to have drinks. And I told her no. I honestly had a date, but I wasn't coming either way. I wasn't coming regardless, because I needed space away from her. She drained my energy. When I told her no, and at first I didn't give her an explanation, she was like, why not? Why not? Why are you not coming out with me and such? Like, what is the problem? Like, what is the deal? Girl, I have a date. I have a lunch date. So I had a date with this guy, and she just was not taking no for an answer. You don't got no date? Girl, why would I lie to you about that? She was just irritating me, and she wasn't respecting my boundaries. She wasn't respecting the fact that I was simply saying no. And so she kept egging me on. She kept egging me on, kept egging me on. She kept saying, I don't know why you don't come out. Why do you have to act like that? One thing that would irritate me about our friendship, she would always put me down like I was dumb or like I was slow. Like, she was the smartest one. She was the smartest thing walking. She feels because she's book smart and that she's so super educated that she's just smarter than everybody. And she has a know-it-all complex. There's no reason for you to have a know-it-all complex when you're baby sheltered, your parents enable your bad choices. And she would constantly make those references, or she would make those snarkly comments about, oh, you're dumb and you're slow. When we had our falling out, which we had our falling out this day, she just would not respect the fact that I wasn't meeting up with her and such for drinks. I had my own thing going on, and she just could not accept that. And so I was just like, you know what? I'm not doing this. And I just went off. Honestly, I went off. Respectfully though, I didn't call her out her name. I just said my piece, and I was just irritated by her, because it was just like, girl, what is the deal? What is really the problem? Because it was just like she complained about every little thing that I did. I didn't mention this, but when I was in Mexico at brunch, she's a nurse. So at brunch, we're all eating, we're sitting down, I'm eating, everyone's eating, and she just starts talking about the keto diet and how bad it is. And I'm just like, girl, I'm not on the keto diet. I haven't been on the keto diet for like almost a year. At this point in my healthy journey, I wasn't on the keto diet. I was just low carb. But she didn't know that because I didn't make the announcement. And so she just started dragging the keto diet. Then she started dragging me saying, you eat unhealthy. You shouldn't eat like that. It's really bad for your health. And I'm just like, where is all of this coming from? It was just so random, y'all. I'm just like, where is all of this coming from? And it was just crazy. So not only did she shame me for my diet, but then she shamed me for my body. She shamed me for my high heels. She was just a lot. So when we had our falling out, I was at my wits end. I had reached my threshold, and I asked this girl to give me some space. I needed some time to myself to decompress from her negative ass energy, and she would not do that. I decided to end the friendship, and I meant that shit. I think when I ended the friendship, I think she didn't think that I meant it. I meant it. I stand on it. I don't go back on it. If I feel a certain way, I make a decision, and trust and believe I thought long and hard. I did. I reflected very deeply before I truly made this decision, and it just came down to the fact that we had simply outgrown each other. We had simply outgrown each other, and I'm not talking about materialism. I'm talking about maturity levels. We were not on the same maturity level, and I was just tired of dealing with her petty cattiness. It was just annoying, and it was just irritating me, and it was getting to a point where I felt like I was gonna eventually put my hands on her. And I'm like, damn, if I'm starting to feel like I'm about to put my hands on someone, I need to disengage and disconnect. And that's me being mature. So I had to disengage and disconnect from her because she was just becoming so annoying and so disrespectful, and she was just irritating my spirit. She was irritating my spirit, and I was like, damn, I really gotta let this friendship go, because it's not supposed to be like this. She had control issues. She felt like she was gonna control me, dictate me and what I do, and maybe that's what she do with her little crew of friends, but she ain't doing that shit with me. I don't know where she got that from, because I ain't never been the type you can run, and that's the reason why I am who I am. Ain't nobody checking me. My father has had to accept who I am. It's not the other way around. I don't understand what she's struggling with, because my own father struggled with it, but he's beyond that. He's past that. What you still struggling for? Because it's not changing. I think people have an issue with not being able to control me and dictate what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. And that was another thing on this trip. She brought up how I was making money. She was just all up in my business. She wanted to know my career plans, and she wanted to dictate what I needed to do next in my career. And she was telling me I need to do this and I needed to do that. And I'm just like, where is all of this coming from? She didn't know how well I was doing. She was just making all of these negative assumptions that I didn't know what I was doing, because she didn't think I was smart enough to know what I was doing. And that was another reason why I decided to end the friendship. This woman, this girl, she clearly does not respect me. She doesn't think that highly of me. Why am I friends with her? I can't even come to her for anything. I can't come to her for real support. When I needed her the most, which was when I moved to Houston, she wasn't really there for me at all. She was not there for me. She avoided me. I was in Houston for 6 months before we had our falling out, and she never came to my apartment. When I had the falling out, I asked her straight up, I said, what's my apartment number? She was like, yeah. And then I went into this whole spiel about how you don't know how to be happy for people when they're in a good place. You don't know how to be happy for people who are gaining success, that are successful, that are doing well for themselves. You don't know how to be happy for people, and you need to figure out why. Because you have a trail of friends, and I started listing them names, girl, one by one. I'm like, you got a trail of friends that you have these falling outs with. You can now add me to the list, and it's simply because you don't know how to be happy for other people. You don't know how to celebrate other people. You don't know how to be there for other people when they're in a good place. And you need to figure out why. Why is it that you're the only one that can do great? Why is it that you're the only one that can be great in the friendship? And then I blocked her. And of course, she was talking out the side of her neck about how I'm weird. Girl, I've been weird my whole life. You're telling me something I've been hearing my entire life. Then she started saying I'm strange. I'm like, girl, people have been calling me strange my entire life. Everything she was just saying, I'm like, if these are things that you don't like about me, why were we ever friends to begin with? It's like stuff like that. And when I said my piece, I kept it real with her, and then I disengaged and disconnected. Nothing I said was coming out the side of my neck. It was coming out of my mouth, and I meant that shit, and I will never take it back, because I don't have to, because it was the truth. After this, y'all, it does not stop. So I had a male friend, and about a few months had passed, and he reached out to me to hang out, and I was hanging out. We were hanging out, we were kicking it or whatever. We were having a good time, and then he was like, such and such wants to talk to you. And I was like, I ain't trying to talk to her. We are not friends. He's like, oh man, like she trying to be cool with you again. I'm like, nah, that's not gonna ever fly. I don't want to be friends with her. The main reason is because I knew, due to her maturity level, she wasn't gonna own up to the shit that she did. So I just didn't feel the need to ever go back and engage in that friendship with her, because I knew she hadn't changed. It hadn't even been that long. She probably didn't even put in that much thought about what she did. I really don't want to be cool with her again. I'm cool where I'm at. I'm cool being by myself. Mind you, I said I'm cool with being by myself. So I didn't trade her in for another friend. I didn't trade her in for a different friend group. Girl, I was out here by myself in Houston with no friends except for the male friend at the time, and then he ended up moving. But I was cool with that. I just didn't want to be around her and her negative ass energy, and I didn't want to be around her and her friends. I just didn't want to be around that energy. I don't want to reconcile with her. And after I told him that and he relayed that message back to her, that's when the shit really started happening. So she had people gang stalking me on social media. She doesn't think I know, but she had like her crew of friends watching me on social media. So when I caught wind of that, I just blocked everybody. I blocked her sister, I blocked her cousin, I blocked everybody that she was associated with because she was running to them, talking to them, telling a one-sided story, telling half-truths. Yeah, like let me just go ahead and block all of y'all. I hunted all of their pages down and I blocked every last one of them. And I think I blocked over like 15 people. I think I even blocked her brother, I blocked her sister, I blocked everybody that was associated with her because I wanted her negative ass energy out of my life. Like honestly, I just wanted her drama having ass out of my life because she was a Cancer. So after I did that, a lot of things started clearing up for me, and I never told Lexi. Even during this time, I never felt comfortable going to Lexi because everything that was going on with her dad, and I was really concerned about Lexi's mental health. I was concerned about how she was handling things with everything that she was going through, and I just didn't feel like what I was going through was important. I just didn't feel like it was important. I don't know what it's like to have a father and to see them in that condition. I don't know what it's like and then not to know if they're gonna live. I don't know what that's like, and I just didn't want to burden her with my problems while she was going through that, because people do that to me. People don't think I go through anything because I don't show it. People don't think I experience anything real because I am always carrying it with a smile. So people don't think I go through real shit, and then people always come to me for advice and things like that, which is the main reason why I took a year off from mentoring, so I could really take care of myself, because I carry a lot of shit, and when I was going through all of this, I just needed to take a break. I needed to take care of me, and I'm learning how to do that. So even with my mentoring business, I'm practicing that as we speak. So because I have this mindset and I am the way that I am when it comes to this mindset, I don't involve people in my mess and the things that I go through. So during this time with Lexi, I didn't tell her about the drama that was happening here in Houston because I just didn't feel like it was important. I didn't want to burden her with the pettiness. I just felt like it was childish. I just felt like it wasn't worth really mentioning or talking about because it was so childish to me. Very, very childish. I didn't tell Lexi for an entire year. My ex-best friend of 10 years texted her and said, I think it's best that we kind of separate within our friendship due to everything that's happening with me and Kiana. And she sent that text, and my best friend was going through so much, she just said, okay. And this is me talking to her about the situation after everything had happened, because her life was so chaotic with everything that was going on with her dad and his health. I think her dad was in the ICU for a while. So because everything was going on with her dad, she just said, okay. She just said, okay. She never reached out to me about the situation. I didn't reach out to her about the situation. It's crazy how you're so in sync with your best friend that's truly your soulmate that you know how to give each other space. And I was given the space to work out my stuff on my own, and she was going through her situation on her own. I was there for her, but I didn't want to involve her because she was already under a lot of stress. So I just did not want to involve her. When we had our conversation after a year and she received this long ass paragraph, the 10-year best friend assumed that me and Lexi had just been gossiping about her this entire time. And it was crazy because I never talked about it. She was gaslighting Lexi, and she lied, and she just exposed herself to Lexi. And the worst thing that she did was she sent all the manipulation and lies through text. So she was able to screenshot it, look over it, and just be like, girl, like what is she talking about? Me and Lexi, we don't do drama. We stay to ourselves. When you're out here truly chasing your dreams, you don't have time for this high school shit. You don't. You only have time for the things that life throws at you, like curveballs, and staying focused, driven, and ambitious. You only have enough energy for that. You don't have time for all of this high school bullshit. When this situation happened, she finally reached out to me about the situation, and she asked me, she said, Kiana, what is she talking about? Then Lexi got upset because remember when I said in Mexico she was being fake, caring, and empathetic, and showing all this empathy and the shoulder to cry on? She had completely forgotten that Lexi's dad was in the hospital and that Lexi was going through all of this during this time. And she said something along the lines of, you weren't there for me when I had my situation with Kiana, you took her side, and da-da-da-da. Me and Lexi, we had not talked in almost a full year because of the health issues that were going on with her dad. We checked in. Now, I keep calling Lexi by her name, but if you don't know who Lexi is, she is my best friend. We've been best friends for almost 20 years. It's crazy to say that, but we've been best friends for almost 20 years. So she's been on my channel on Real Talk with Yanni. She was on my channel during Yanni Red, that phase on my YouTube channel. So if you've been around for a while, you know who Lexi is. During this time, our friendship was being tested, and honestly, it was Lexi's girlfriend that brought it to both of our attention, where she said she's jealous of y'all's relationship. She's jealous of the friendship that y'all have, and she's trying to create a wedge between you both because she's jealous. And I'm like, damn, how can somebody be jealous of the friendship that you have with another person? Because we had our falling out and I had made it clear that I didn't want to reconcile with her, that's when she started trying to sabotage the relationships that I did have. So she targeted Lexi, she targeted the other girls that were in the group chat that I had created for the Mexico trip. So I heard about how she was reaching out to them behind my back about the trip and who paid for what and who did what, and they came to me and they told me about it. And I'm still friends with these girls till this day. Like, everyone passed the test that she was out here creating for them, but everyone passed the test. Everyone showed their loyalty and they came and they told me about it, and I just blew it off like I don't even care. But she literally tried to sabotage every relationship that I had with every individual that I had in my life. So my best friend Lexi, my two other great friends, I'm not gonna get into their names because I don't know if they feel comfortable with me saying their names. Lexi already gave me the green light to talk about this on my YouTube channels. She wants me to speak my truth, but I'm not gonna mention the other two girls just in case they don't want to be involved. Then she also sabotaged the reconcile that I had planned with my ex 8-year best friend that I talked about that abandoned our friendship when she moved away, and she kind of left me behind, and I felt like she had made new friends and she just forgot about me. So I had planned to reach out to her, have a sit down and reconcile our friendship, but she beat me to the punch. And it was crazy because my mindset was, ooh, I don't want to bring her into this space with me when I have drama in my life. So I'm just gonna hold off until the drama clears up, which it should clear up pretty soon, but it didn't clear up fast enough because 10-year best friend that wanted to sabotage all my friendships, she didn't want me to have friends at all. She didn't want me to have no friends. And I'm gonna get into how far she went with that. But she ended up reaching out to my 8-year best friend, and my 8-year best friend just seemed so eager to learn negative things about me. They were lies, but she was just so eager to learn those things, as if she felt vindicated or justified that I had not been inviting her to go to Mexico or inviting her to do this, or that I wasn't talking to her. But I wasn't talking to her because she had abandoned the friendship, and I'm not gonna keep putting in effort into a friendship that a person is not putting in any effort into. Like, it just doesn't make sense. That's not how a relationship works. If you're not texting and calling and checking in, I'm the only one doing it, what do you expect? So I disconnected, I distanced myself, and I don't even think she really noticed until she started seeing me do better, and then all of a sudden she wanted back into my life. But that's not how life works. But I was willing to let it go because we were children, we were teenagers, we weren't in a good place, we were trauma bonding, we had our issues, and so I was willing to let all of that go and put it in the past and put it behind us. But when she was so eager to learn negative things about me from the 10-year ex-best friend that was bitter because I didn't want to be friends with her anymore, I decided, like, I'm not fucking with none of y'all. Like, I'm not fucking with either of them. They can be friends with each other, and the only reason why they really friends is just because they want to sit up and talk shit about me. I'm cool on both of y'all. Y'all both move weird, y'all both move immature, y'all both just move funny, and y'all not real. Y'all talk about each other. And that's another thing, is my 10-year best friend would talk about the 8-year best friend, and I'm pretty sure the 8-year best friend talks about the 10-year best friend, which she does because it was confirmed. The 8-year best friend, when I talk to her on the phone, because that's one thing about me, I'm gonna call you. I'm not gonna go and talk to you through a third person. I hate when people do that. I'm gonna call you on the phone and talk to you directly because I want to know what you have to say. I don't want to hear it through somebody else. Don't like that. So when I called her directly, because I was hearing that she was kicking up this drama, she was involving my best friend Lexi, and that was another thing about the two of them. If they had an issue with me, and the issue really was with themselves, it was not with me, but let's entertain that the issue was with me, they would always involve her. They would always involve Lexi and like put her in the middle, and she really had nothing to do with any of it. And that would irritate me about the both of them. They would always involve Lexi in the middle of stuff that she didn't have anything to do with because she didn't witness it. I don't sit up there with her and talk about the situation and how everything played out. Lexi, my best friend, did not know why I had stopped being best friends with my 8-year best friend because I never really talked to her about it. Me saying it in this YouTube video right now is the first time me actually saying it. I never talk to people about my shit. Like, when I say I don't run and talk to people about my shit, I don't. So when people be trying to go to other people that be around me about how I feel about them or what I think about them, they don't know because I don't sit up and talk about you. That's just not what I do. I don't have time. Literally, I barely had time for therapy sessions. I had to make the effort for therapy sessions. So I don't have time to be sitting up on the phone talking about you. And what happened? I'm the type where life happens and I just carry on. I actually had a bad habit of doing that, which is why I went to therapy. Life happens and I just pick up and keep moving. And I'm just used to doing that. I'm the strong friend. I don't involve people in my shit. I'm not saying that like it's a badge of honor. I'm saying it because it's simply the truth. She sabotaged that reconcile, but honestly, it was a blessing in disguise because I realized that I didn't want to be friends with her ever. Either. Because girl, why would you come and talk to me? We were close for 8 years. Why would you not just come and have a conversation with me? And the reason why she wouldn't was because she felt guilty because she knew she had abandoned the friendship, which is why she felt the need to talk to Lexi, talk to my 10-year best friend over just simply coming and talking to me because she felt guilty. And I picked that up after the fact. I reflected, I talked to my therapist, and that's why it was guilt. She felt guilty. That's why she never came and directly wanted to have a conversation with me. But when they started kicking up that drama, they sent that paragraph and it was getting the he say, she say. I was like, oh, hell no, I don't do no he say, she say. I go talk to who I need to talk to. So I called her, got the number from Lex because I didn't even have her number. And I said, hey, what's going on? What is the problem? Honestly, like that's how I called her. I didn't say, hello, how you doing? Girl, what is the problem? Because you're talking about me. Going around talking about me to this person. Why not come and talk to me? I just don't understand. And I don't respect women who do this because it's very weak and cowardly to me. If you want to talk to me, come and talk to me. I don't understand. But see, this is the energy that I match them with. They're intimidated. But I'm just like, why kick up all this drama when you know I don't do drama? Of course I'm going to be irritated. Of course I'm not going to be in a good mood. I'm not going to greet you in the way that you want to be greeted because I'm already irritated that you're kicking up all this drama with assumptions about how you think I feel or why we not friends anymore. It's just like, girl, come and talk to me. Once I got what I needed to say out, which she wasn't trying to believe me, it was almost like when I got on the phone with her, she was biased. Like she had taken whatever my 10-year best friend had told her and she just felt like it was the truth. I was just like, ain't no saving this friendship. You gonna believe whatever you gonna believe. Let me just tell you my piece. And then we got to talking. Girls do what girls do. It's in their nature. She starts talking about the 10-year best friend. She has like this chip on her shoulder now because of this position at her job and the fact that she's making more money. And I'm like, yeah, that's the same issue I have with her too. And then she kept talking, and this is the first time in my life where I got mad as hell, cussed her out. Yes, Yanni cussed her ass out. I hung up the phone and then I blocked her. And for the first time in my life, I stood up for myself. The first time in my life at 31 years old, I stood up for myself because I'm a peacemaker. Sometimes I keep my mouth closed to keep the peace. I'm not confrontational because I don't like confrontation. But for the first time in my life, I got confrontational and I defended myself because I was just tired of everybody's shit. It was petty, stupid, and it was all created because this girl could not accept the fact that she was a horrible ass friend. She treated me horribly. And then I just no longer wanted to be friends with her anymore. She just could not accept that. She did not want to accept that. She had to look in the mirror and look at herself. It didn't have nothing to do with me. You don't go around treating people a certain type of way and then feel like you're still gonna have access to them. And I don't think she's used to that. I think the girls that she hangs around, I think she's used to talking to them crazy and then chalking it up like it's just a joke. Oh, I'm just joking with you. I felt like the things that she was saying was underlying disrespect. And I would never talk to her like that. I would never treat her like that. So I just didn't want to be friends with her and she did not want to accept that. So she started recruiting flying monkeys. I started getting gang stalked online from her little friend group, her cousins, her family, everybody. I was just getting gang stalked online and I could just feel the energy. Anytime I would go on Instagram Live, anytime I would do a YouTube video, I knew I was being gang stalked by her whole crew. I know for a fact that I was in the group chat. I know for a fact they were sitting down at happy hour having conversations about me in a round table. Girl, I knew. I just didn't give a fuck. I just wanted her away from me. And her doing all of that was why. Because I don't have that energy in my life. I don't sit around at round tables at happy hour gossiping about somebody, pulling up their Instagram and talking about them. I don't do that shit. That shit weird. If there's someone that I don't like, I block them and I move on with my life. I'm not fixated on what they doing. I don't care because I don't like them. It's that simple. This entire situation was so weird, but in this season, God revealed my enemies and I'm just glad that they're away from me. Honestly, my life is peaceful. I'm happy. I'm meeting new friends. I'm just around solid solid people. I feel like I have solid people around me now, and I got rid of the fakes. There were people around me that were tested. They were tested, and I didn't say anything to them. I didn't run to them and talk about the situation. To be honest, the people that showed me loyalty didn't even tell me about her reaching out until I talked about it after the fact, and it had to be like a year or two later because they wanted to know what happened, what really happened. I finally opened up to them about it, but it was like after a year, after the drama and everything had passed, after I had handled my shit on my own. And it was crazy because this girl was going around involving 20 people, and I'm over here standing 10 toes down because I feel like what I'm doing is right, what I'm doing is just, and what I felt was the right thing for me. So I wasn't backing down. I wasn't coming off of how I felt. You weren't gonna come and gaslight me out of my decision with no longer being friends. I knew what I experienced, I knew what I went through, and I was standing on that. And I didn't need anyone backing me because I felt strongly about what I went through, what I experienced, and I just wasn't having it anymore. I didn't want to be friends with her. After everything, I just did not want to be friends with her. And then after reflecting and talking to my therapist about it, it was a one-sided friendship anyway. So letting it go was not hard for me. It was not hard because I realized that it was a one-sided friendship where I was doing all the pouring and I wasn't getting anything back in return. So letting it go was very easy. If she felt like it was easy, it was because it was, and it was because she didn't really show up in my life like that. She didn't really show up for me like that. And when it was finally the time and the opportunity to show up in my life, she decided not to do that. She decided to become an ops and try to sabotage every good thing that I had in my life, every good experience that I was trying to have in my life. Like from the Mexico trip, the fact that I brought a luxury vehicle, the fact that I had moved to Houston and got a nice place in Midtown, the fact that I was out here trying to create a new life for myself. She was really trying to sabotage everything. She was pocket watching me. She was trying to dictate my diet. She was trying to dictate my career. This girl was obsessed, and that's when I realized I'm not gonna be friends with her again. So I don't fool with her. I don't fool with anyone that associates with her because the situation was very weird. And the weirdest part about this entire thing was I'm standing 10 toes down by myself, and these group of people are believing every little thing that she's saying. They're not coming to me and talking about it. They don't want to hear my side of the story. They're just taking her side of the story. No one wants to listen to me. So here's my side of the story. If you're watching, this is my side of the story. Maybe you can put the pieces together. Before I end this video, there was another girl that she had involved in this situation, and for whatever reason she wasn't inviting me out. I later found out after I got on the phone with her other friend that she intentionally was not inviting me out. So she was trying to make it seem like I wasn't coming to the outings that I was being invited to, but it wasn't that. It was because she wasn't inviting me. She didn't want me there. It was almost like she was trying to keep me isolated away from their outings that they would have together, and that was a blessing in disguise because like I said, I don't do drama, I don't do mess. I don't feel no type of way. Honestly, it was truly a blessing in disguise. But the truth was she wasn't inviting me. She did not invite me because she didn't want me there. She was leaving me out intentionally because after we had brunch the first time, she didn't like all the attention I was getting at brunch. She wants all of the attention. She wants everyone to focus on her. I'm supposed to be her filler friend. I'm just supposed to make her look a certain way, and that's it. I don't want to be involved in the bullshit. I don't care to hear anybody out. I don't care to hear what someone else got to say. I just want to be left the fuck alone. I think I've made that very clear that I want to be left alone. This obsession to stalk and watch me constantly on social media every day is very fucking weird. I live a very simple life. I keep to myself. I don't have that many friends. I keep a small circle for this very reason because I've dealt with too many crazy experiences with people where I just literally keep to myself now, and I keep a very close circle, and I only keep certain people around me because those are the only people that I truly trust. And I feel like it was intended to be this way. I'm still out here making new friends and things like that, but I am vetting people very carefully because I will never go through this ever again. I made horrible choices and decisions in friends. I chose friends that weren't really friends to me. Like it was just one-sided relationships. I felt like this separation, this friendship breakup, it was truly a blessing in disguise. I'm just so grateful that God decided to reveal this to me. I'm such a big giver, and I would have been given to these people when in reality they talk shit about me behind my back. They do these weird things behind my back, and I'm just glad that I don't have that energy around me, and the people that I do have around me and the people that I kept around me, I can give to those people. I can love on those people, and I can be there for them. My life is heading in a totally different direction. I'm just really excited for the new year. 2024 is gonna be a really fun year for me, and I'm just really excited. And I feel like all of this energy and all of this negativity and the people that I had around me had to be removed so I could actually enjoy this blessing, because your girl has worked her ass off. No one can take that from me. No one can say this shit was handed to me. Everything that I built from scratch. I built from nothing. My parents didn't help me. My parents didn't give me a penny, not a dime. Everything that I have, everything that you see me with, I built from scratch. So I deserve this new beginning. I deserve where my life is currently at and where it's headed. And I'm just happy to be in a space where I have people around me that want to celebrate me, that want to support me, that want to uplift me, that want to be there for me in a genuine way. Looking at the bigger picture, all of this had to happen. It all had to happen. All of this had to come out to light. And I'm just glad it did when it did, because it was at a very crucial time in my life. And so now that I've moved into this new space, I just don't have that jealousy energy around me. I have support, I have love, I have genuine acceptance. And that's another thing, is for the first time in my life at 31, I truly feel accepted by the women around me. I don't feel like I need to change myself or that I'm awkward or weird around them. I feel like I can truly just be myself and I feel embraced naturally, and I don't feel like I have to change anything about myself. And my weirdness, my strangeness is being accepted and is being supported, is being nurtured. And that was something that I never got from these friendships. I feel so blessed to have gone through everything, and for this girl to go around and play the victim with everybody and get everyone on board with her victimhood when it came to our friendship. It was just straight up bullshit. But I'm just glad that with her being the victim, she should want to stay away from me. She should want to stay away from me, right? So since she's the victim, she should want to stay away from me. And if that's the story that people want to believe, that's cool. But just make sure she stays away from me, because that's the only thing that I care about. I don't care about nothing else. I just want her to stay away from me, because clearly she's not happy within herself. She doesn't know who she is, and she's struggling and she's battling with internal issues that people don't want to help her with or be real about her with. And that's okay, but I don't have to be around that energy, and I don't want to be projected on, and it's just unfair to me. Like, I've done a lot of work on myself, and I have leveled up my life to a point where I don't project onto people. I don't think I've ever really projected on people. Maybe I have passive aggressively, maybe, but not like how she was projected on me. And I just didn't appreciate that. And that was the reason why I just really wanted to disconnect from the friendship. So this is my side of the story. Also, I wanted to share this with my subscribers, because I really do believe the things that I go through, I'm supposed to share. So hopefully this helps. And I know this was a long ass, winded ass video, but I was called to create this video. I was called to get this video out to you before the new year, so that I can put this behind me and I can like really step into this new beginning, this new energy, and really embrace the new connections and the new opportunities that are coming my way. And I just wanted to share this with you, because if you're going through a season of this, it gets better. Hang in there. And yes, I know you want to go off. Yes, I know you want to step out of character. Yes, 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 yes. But move in spirit. Don't move in ego. Don't move in emotions. Move in spirit, because spirit is never going to guide you in the wrong direction. Spirit guided me here. I feel blessed. I feel grateful. And I'm just really happy to be here. And I have putting this out into the universe that I am releasing this. I am releasing this. And yes, I have every right to be mad and bitter and upset, but I am releasing this because I deserve happiness, and I deserve to not be jaded, and I deserve to meet new people, create new friendships, and just be in a better place in my life. So I am releasing this. I'm putting this out into the universe as a way to show that I am truly over this now. I'm releasing it, and yeah, I'm at peace with everything and how everything happened and how it ended and just where I'm at. And yeah, so that's all that I have regarding this video. This will probably be the last video on this channel before 2024. So happy new year. Hopefully you're taking in this new year with optimism, because that is so important. Don't be negative. Don't think that because of celebrity culture that your year is going to be bad or crazy, or maybe because last year was so horrible, now you feel like this year is going to be bad, it's going to be horrible, it's going to be a repeat. Don't go into 2024 like that. Be optimistic. Always have optimism. Be a dreamer. Be the biggest dreamer that you can be. Welcome in this 2024 energy with love and gratitude, and I promise you it's going to be a great year. And it may be a great year of introspection. It may be a great year to go deeper within and learn more about yourself. It's okay if that may come across as rough or a battle, but it is worth it. It is a beautiful experience, because I just came out of that energy. I just came out of that phase, and I appreciate it so much more now that I am where I'm at in life, because I'm able to enjoy it due to me going inward and doing all the inner work to even be able to bring you this video. That's all that I have regarding this video. Happy New Year, and I can't wait to see you in 24 with all the content that's gonna be on this channel. I have a great feeling about this channel. I feel like this channel is gonna blow up. I really do. So I can't wait to see you in 2024. I hope to see you in 2024. I'll just catch you in my next one.